Hey guys, so I haven't made videos in a while because I've been hanging out and distracted by family life. I'm a new dad now, so that was quite an adventure over the last few weeks. But I did receive this at the beginning of this month, and I haven't gotten around to open it. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the last premium that I'll be receiving from Warhammer Imperium. This should contain the orcs. So I'm pretty excited to open it because I love it when they send you not the little package, but they send you a big box instead. All right, let's take a look. All right. Ooh. Okay, now if you guys have concerns about how I open this thing, don't worry about it. I haven't stabbed myself with an X-Acto knife in almost, I don't know, maybe like 2 years. So, pretty good streak. And I don't intend to end it today, so. Okay, and we didn't cut any of the stuff in here, which is great. Oh, I was wrong. I was wrong, guys. It's not a premium set. It's the binder. It's the new binder. Okay. Sound warning, because I'm going to be grabbing these plastics. It's going to sound gross, okay? I'm not going to do any talking while I do this, so you guys don't miss anything I'm saying. Yeah, I was wrong. All right, let's take a look. Okay guys, so as I mentioned last edition, we received 2 more Outriders in this pack in issue 60. We only got one, I think, in the last one, and he may be the Sergeant one, so this might just be the other 2 that you get in that pack. Outriders are super strong right now when it comes to playing on the board. At least I think that. I could be biased, but some people really enjoy the fast-moving vehicles. I like that they're actually pretty freaking tough for fast movers. They have a lot of armor, and if you have Meltas, like, honestly, these things can throw a lot of shots downrange before anything even takes them out. Like, I had a squad of Eradicators and Melta. Well, yeah, Eradicators and also Plasma, what are they called? Intercessors? But I didn't have them. I had them with the Heavy Plasma Intercessors, not the Assault. And they still couldn't cut through those guys. Like, they just tore my boys down. So, I mean, I think they're really strong. Some people might say they're not meta, but I think they are. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut this up here, okay? I always do this early while I'm opening these packs. Other people might want to save it, the actual edition. But let's show this off. So we only got 1 HQ page in this one, okay? It does feature the Grey Knights on top, which is pretty cool. And it says on here that in this feature, this talks a lot about introducing the psychic battle between the Grey Knights and how they hunt down the demons of chaos. So let's look at HQ page. We got 2 lore pages, and those lore pages are the Grey Knights, as we said, and that's pretty cool cover art. I think there's already a lot of really cool stuff for the Grey Knights. They have a whole video game, and you could argue that the Warhammer Chaos Gate game isn't like amazing, but it's pretty cool, and I'm a really big fan of tactical games like that, RTSs. So let's see here. Get some information about how they hunt demons, specifically using their Nemesis sword, 4 swords, the Psy cannons, and the Psy grenades. Oh, actually. Oh, you know what? I stand corrected. This looks really cool on the bottom because you can actually see not just the Grey Knights and how much they how much bigger they are than the average human, but like you see that cybernetic enhanced human down here. That dude is disgusting, and like that's what I love seeing about Warhammer, just how much of a disgusting universe it is. How like even regular people are having to enhance themselves using all kinds of fucking monstrosities and just terrible. You know what I mean? Like you claim to be humanity, but you don't even look human. Like, look at this Space Marine. This is a Tech Marine, and they are pretty cool. I like them a lot. I think that their function in chapters is very unique. God, those servitors. Ugh, the worst thing you could become in Warhammer is a servitor. Just a fucking husk of a person trapped inside a mechanical suit. crazy. But yeah, Tech Marines I think are very unique in the functions they serve because they get a lot of insight to Mars and a lot of the things about the Mechanicum that regular Space Marines don't necessarily, understand. But I do think it's interesting. I would say most of them are zealots because they believe in the machine god. Now, we did get the how to paint guide for the Outriders, which is pretty extensive actually. It's about maybe like 7 pages, 6 pages. Let's see. 5 pages, sorry, 5 pages. And that actually bodes well. That means the more of these are starting to get more detailed, and I actually would really like how these come out. So I'm actually excited. I probably will follow this paint guide just so I can have my Outriders look parade ready. You get a mission pack. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you get 2 mission packs actually for the Adeptus Sororitas and for the Outriders, the Angels of Death Part 1. All right, so pretty cool. Not a bad issue. Let's take a look at the next one because the next issue I was actually, yeah, you can see it right here as a little early one, but we're going to disregard this one. This one's really cool, but this is 62. Okay, so issue 61 comes with the Tomb Blade. And you can actually see on the Tomb Blade that there's a lot of intricate pieces on here. And it's really cool that this came well packaged because it's very flat. It means there's no damage to any of these tiny little bits and bobs that are on the Necron Tomb Blade. And I really get scared with these kind of models because Necrons overall, they have so many little just pieces to their models that you have to be really careful with that. You get, of course, the base to the hovering illusion. I think some people actually have been able to make better versions of that. This is what I was really hyped about. Look at this cover art of this Inquisitor. I haven't seen this, I haven't seen Inquisitors be shown off like this since the video game, Warhammer Inquisition. And I just remember that freaking cinematic they did for that game was so effing awesome. It was just amazing. Oh, seriously, they waste the potential by not making a TV show of Warhammer. But this is a really cool page. I actually really don't want to bend it or anything. I just, it's cool. It's it's fan art for me. Got one HQ page, and of course, in the lore pages, the first lore story is the Inquisition. So it talks a little bit about what the Inquisition are, who they are. Maybe it talks a little bit in depth about the different ordos, which sure enough it does, and the functions that they hold. I do think we've already received other stories for the Inquisition and some of the previous information, but it's pretty cool. We got some information on a war zone that the Grey Knights are currently involved in. War zone Manask. I don't know. Manask. Who knows? And it's the 8th Brotherhood and the 6th Brotherhood currently involved in a fight there. That's pretty cool. Oh, now this is interesting. Now this is more about the actual infestations there, and that's pretty cool. You don't see a lot of details about the demons too much. You don't see a lot of pictures for them. I think that's pretty sweet because it's really hard for them to conceptualize, to bring to basically make an illustration of a demon based on the way they describe them in books, because they'll talk about how metal is living and how it looks unnatural, and I think it's hard for an artist to take that and be okay, you want me to draw something that doesn't make any sense, essentially. And so I think it's pretty cool when they actually are able to do it, and you can really see just how disgusting and atrocious a Chaos Demon is. We got our how to build guide for the Tomb Blade, and of course we got a how to paint guide, and we got actually a bunch of mission packs in this one. So this is a very mission pack heavy edition. So we got a really easy how to paint guide, just 2 pages. The Necron how to paints that they're doing on here are pretty simple, and I actually don't really like that they don't use any of the greens to highlight the colors like I did for my Necron. Black and green is a very common color scheme that they have on a lot of their obelisks and weaponry, so I'm pretty disappointed that they're not utilizing that in the how to paint guides. It looks here that this is actually more of it's a mission pack, but it does have a lot more in depth when it comes to the rules, command points, and how to play. So another great piece of information to have if you're new to Warhammer and you're trying to learn how to build with your friends. You're trying to learn how to play with friends, so that's a great piece of information. We got a mission pack, and I like these because it folds out. and stratagems as well. So this is pretty useful. Like I said, this is a very mission pack heavy issue that we got for this magazine. All right, let's jump over to 62. So in issue 62, we got 2 paints. We've got Eversun Scarlet, which is really cool. This would be a great layer paint to be using on for red, you know, like maybe like the brighter colors of red on things like that, like blood and maybe like, you know, stuff that's on the higher elevations. What I didn't like is that they did give me Calgar Blue, but as you can see, it actually came and it was slightly opened. I hope it didn't, I don't think it did. It looks like it's still got a pretty tight seal, but you know, when these paint pots get like that, you see on the top how they spill, they tend to clot and then you can't close them, and then the paint inside will actually dry out and you probably have to invest in like a shaker or something, but usually it ends up ruining the paint for me. So I really hate that happened, but hopefully this paint will be okay. Now, I was actually really impressed at the cover art for this. It's so classic, it's such a traditional look, but I think this model is so cool. So that's another sweet HQ page and another cool piece of art that we got. Oh wow, okay, so this actually ended up being the issue that came with the most amount of lore, issue 62. So we've got some information on what Space Marine veteran chapters are, you know, not only that for Terminator veterans from the Space Wolves, we've got the Imperial Fist Stern Guard veterans. I actually really want to get more into the Imperial Fists and the Blood Angels. I mean, I know a little bit more about the Blood Angels than I do about the Fists. They really need to make a standalone game for the Imperial Fists because they did so much during the Heresy, and they just seem like such a unique chapter and what they did and what they started. But I don't know, maybe people don't like painting in yellow, and I know that's why they don't really put them out there in the forefront, but like they should. More than the Space Wolves. I mean, the Space Wolves aren't that cool to me anymore. I like the Viking thing, but I don't know. I read it like after reading the Dawn of Fire 3 book where it's all about the Space Wolves, it's just not that cool. They're really tiring. We got a lore page about the Silent King, who's a hero in the Necron. It's pretty funny that they use the word hero, but yeah, he's a hero to the Necrons, so I guess. He's their leader. Oh, cool. We got chapter information about the Crimson Fists, which is really sad. We know what happens to them. If you guys don't know, Praetor Cantor is one of the coolest ones of the Fist, but the sad thing about them is that a lot of them ended up dying and they ended up blowing themselves up, which is super sad. Uriel Ventress, who just got his own novel when he came back out of the warp. He's been fighting the good fight. He got his own novel. I wanted to buy that novel because it did have its own special edition from Black Library, but man, it sold out in like 3 seconds. Varro Tagaris, which is pretty cool because he's actually in Warhammer Tacticus. He's probably the first character you can get, and in, like, if anyone's like me, I lucked out and he's actually my strongest character, just because you get so easy to get his shards and it's really easy to upgrade him in that game. But he's pretty cool as a psyker. He does actually have a lot of background information to him. I probably have to do more reading on him to actually find out, you know, what it is he's done, but I know he's met with Gilliman. You know, he's one of those guys that's always in the forefront. The Kirk's Terminatus. This seems to be about the Deathwing fighting the Iron Warriors. That's pretty cool. I wish the Deathwing game was cooler. I mean, I liked it when I played it, but I feel like they just don't release any extra stuff for it. They let Warhammer games die so fast. But Warhammer Deathwing was pretty fun. If you had friends to play it with and stuff, you can get into really good fights. Got some information here about, it looks like Chaos Demon Engines, so that's a Maul Fiend, which is a Demon Engine, a fusion of, yeah, those things look disgusting. An infusion of the Warp Entity and Infernal Machine. There's actually a book I've read that describes the mindset of the machine, essentially, or like the AI spirit getting basically corrupted by the demon, and the demon itself like basically feeling endless torture inside the metal, because the metal of the machine that it's summoned in is what links it to the world, like the real world, the real space. That to me is just such a crazy mindset. We do have some information here on how to paint for the model updates to do like very specific edge highlighting on top of your Space Marine models, which is really cool that they're doing this, because they're basically saying that if you follow the paint guides on the other ones and you're like, hey, this is where you've gotten your model to, you do these little tips and it'll even make it even stand out even more. And so that's pretty cool, and it actually shows a final gallery of how it looks just by adding in the Calgar Blue and adding those plasma coils to everything, and you know, just really making sure it really pops. So I really do want to try to follow one of these paint guides, but I'm very, very impatient, and I feel like I'd probably mess it up. We got a little bit here and more of a mission pack again. which is pretty fun. And the missions are probably getting more complex as you continue. It does say veteran rules. I don't play the game as much when it comes to playing the actual board and rolling dice, so I don't need to know that. Oh, that's cool. You're gonna get some veterans. I actually really wanted this guy, this intercessor with the, I think it's a heavy cannon or something, but I want one of those. And I wanted these guys because these guys have unique poses. Like I want that pose right there. So it's cool that these are coming in issue 63, which we have right here. Oh, death marks. These guys, I'm gonna show you right here, death marks, okay? In the Mechanicus game, they are super strong. In the Tacticus game, they are decently annoying, and they can be stronger if someone has like a high level character, but to summon them, they don't have their own like character, so they get summoned by one of the overlords, but they are super strong in the Mechanicus RTS. Okay, so issue 63 comes with 5 models in total, and you get their bases. It appears to come with 3 Space Marines in Phobos armor. I want to say 4 actually, because I think he's a sniper, but I think he might be I don't know if it's a standalone model or if this is a unit pack. And then of course 1 intercessor with a heavy cannon, but somebody should correct me in the comments on what that weapon is. And here's their weapon, their spruce kit, okay? Let's take a quick look here. Yes, so you do get 3 infiltrators. I actually really wanted to buy infiltrators when I first got into Warhammer, but people advised me against it, and it's such a shame because they have some of the coolest looking armor, and they have some of the coolest looking like poses on these model kits. Like look at the way they're like doing commands, you know, holding out their pistol, being all super secretive. Like these guys come with some of the coolest little, like, look, this guy's throwing a smoke grenade. Like you could use that and then of course convert it to like so many different things. I just think it's so awesome how the models themselves, these models come with so many unique poses and so many unique kits. And look, you can actually get a naming guide so you can actually keep track of them for narrative play. Oh man. So huge bummer, guys. It does end on a bit of a sad note. So issue 63 doesn't come with any lore. It just seems to come with build guide, painting guide, and of course mission packs, which kind of, you know, kind of a bust. But hopefully when we get the next edition, it'll come with even more information and more lore, because that's what I love the most is lore. It's so cool to see the lore. It's so great to see the stories, and I love seeing the art that they put into those books. Now there is a lot of good painting tips in here, and of course intercessors. So we actually are going to get 3 of these guys. Suppressors is what they're called. I apologize, and I guess that makes sense. They are intercessors, but they are, I guess, suppressing the enemy with those heavy cannons as opposed to you know, going in and doing fast attack. I mean, there probably are fast attack units, but I'd have to look at their data sheets. Oh, they're right here. Awesome. So you do get the data sheets for the Eliminator Squad and, yep, a Suppressor Squad. And they are considered, let's take a look here. They are considered Adeptus Astartes, Core, Fly, Jump Pack. No, but they have their own unique code word, which is Suppressing Squad. Okay. I mean, they still move pretty fast. You can look at their movement stats on here too. I like that you get codex information basically, but remember, getting a codex is always, in my opinion, a little better just because you get all the information for every unit type. So yeah, guys, that's going to be issues 60 through 63. I do think that overall this one was a little bit, you know, lackluster. I love getting new paints just because it does open up your horizons on what you can do, and the painting tips are useful, especially for expanding what you're painting. But right now I'm really into painting the Death Guard, so I'm not really worried about doing Space Marine models. However, I have been trying to pick mine back up so I can finish a few more of my kill team. This is one guy I'm working on right now with a rocket launcher, and he's going to take me a while. I built him like a year ago and I just barely started painting him, so it's going to take me a while to finish any of these. But yeah, guys, if you guys want to look into Warhammer Imperium, I would highly recommend. It is sold by the Agora Collections. I believe that's what their name is. But they are such a good service overall, in my opinion, because they do offer a lot of different types of units that you get for $75, I think. No, correction. It's $80 if you do premium. and that's the one that I do. And it's pretty good because you do get 4 additional armies besides Adeptus Sororitas, Necrons, and Space Marines. I say this in every video. If you are new to Warhammer and you want to get into collecting models, or you want to just get into getting more lore, for whatever the reason you want, you should definitely start with Warhammer Imperium. You would have to pay a pretty penny to catch up, but you can just start from, you know, the middle of where they're at right now in issue 63. And just go from there and collect, you know. Right now they still haven't released their Gilliman model, which I know is coming. I do think you're still going to get some more, I want to say you do get some more units from the Mechanicum, but we already have a lot of Scutari and a couple of Tech Adepts. It's pretty cool because you get a good amount of HQ units, but I would highly recommend Warhammer Imperium to anyone that's trying to get into Warhammer. All right, guys. Yeah, if you guys like hearing, you know, what I have to talk about, or like hearing about Warhammer, please give me a follow, like, share, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. I do also have a TikTok where I'll be posting, you know, tiny clips of this. But thank you for watching this entire unboxing video, and just, you know, shoot me a comment. Anything else you guys want me to talk about? I actually am super hyped to talk about like current events about Warhammer and, you know, some of the book stuff too. And if you guys like this video, you should check out my other video I'll be putting out about where I'm reading right now on the Horus Heresy novels. Thanks, guys.